from the fire code perspective, and Bill McKinney will be up here a little bit later, I think, speak to the building code. I'm looking at him but in the fire code, we really look at 1 and 2 family dwellings, or the next jump that was logical to us was a rooming house. And when we think about rooming houses, a lot of things we've already heard this morning from Daryl and for Kim is the family and the social like atmosphere and the accountabilities weren't there a lot in the rooming houses. It literally was someone renting a room and staying in the room, and there was you don't know what's going on, who's living sometimes in the bed next to you. And that, I think, for me, especially in many of us that were involved in this early in the last 5 years or so in the code world on the fire side, is that a recovery house was very different. So and we kept kind of drawing back to 1 and 2 family, but we're hanging up on what we were traditionally known as family, of a husband and wife and a couple of kids and a dog or a cat, and that really wasn't quite what recovery was. And that's, I think, where our struggle was, and we had to get over some of those hurdles.
So how did you get over that hurdle? How do you sort of define a family residence today for the purposes of the fire code and making you feel good about that?
So we did a couple things. One of them, I think, is really touring many homes and seeing the difference between a well-run home and a home that didn't follow the NAR or the Hampshire core standards. And when we began to see that the homes that are run well were family-like, you could go into a house and talk to someone that even a 2 or 3 family home. I think the one that hit me the most is one in Manchester, a 3-decker. You could talk to someone on the 1st floor and they would know where the person is on the 3rd floor, where they were working, what their name was, when they were going to be home, and things like that. And that's not a rooming house. And so what we wanted to do was balance what a 1 and 2 family home looked like, and kind of put it into recovery home into a 1 and 2 family. So we through education, I think, talking to a lot of people, we also worked in 2021 to get some changes to the statute to have the ability for the fire marshal's office to issue a variance. And I know Kim will kind of not totally comfortable with that concept because it's still a discriminatory nature, we believe, to that. But the real reason we did that was to try to do for consistency, that it would come to my office, we would work with the local fire officials and really try to apply the standards really at our level and help the local communities apply it consistent. And our concern was if that didn't happen at our level, where it would be all over the place. And that's really where it comes down to. So the statute I think is where we came up with and to kind of guide us.
So is there a statewide policy on safety codes and recovery homes, or is it determined town by town?
So we have the state fire code in place, and then towns are allowed to be more restrictive if they want through their own local governing boards. But then, as I mentioned, we have RSA 153.10D specific to the variance process for recovery homes, and that would come to our office, and it would kind of give us a little bit extra guidelines for a recovery home.